Hey there, out there in the internet. Yesterday we had a first look on this Microsoft event with this new Surface devices and somewhat positive, but of course ARM and vendor login. Also here on this More Life channel right now it's the copyright strike from Apple's amazing live event. Thank you not for that. So pre-recorded live stream because I can't live stream here on this right now. Some small updates that I thought might be noteworthy. One is that, let me check if this is the right video. I hope we don't get copyright striked even more for that. But if I upload this, then at least I probably see instead of live streaming whether I can release it or not anyway. So in the presentation they even pointed out one small detail that I missed because originally I didn't watch the whole presentation. So, oh wait, by the way, maybe I also, yeah, desktop audio, maybe like that if it works.
Now we continue to focus on the purity of this design, which was critical. But we also, for our commercial customers, we wanted to add the elements of serviceability, repairability, things that matter for customers. When you put people at the center, what do we need? I need to change the keyword, I need to change the screen.
So the right to repair movement at least make some progress. Also, yeah, slow talking, leave me in the comments below. Should I talk as slow in my videos as commercial business presenters? So the right of repair movement, Louis Rossmann and others, and including shouting this out on my own channel, apparently made a little bit of progress. Also there are some EU regulations maybe coming, maybe they even at Microsoft started to make some changes due to upcoming just this week and potentially later more regulations in the right to repair stuff, so that stuff needs to be more repairable and even spare parts. Right now this only is for vacuum cleaners and dishwashers and whatnot and external power supplies. I think it does not yet apply to tablets, but hopefully maybe soon.
But you don't want to affect the beauty. You can't.
It's like, you can't affect the beauty. Of course you can. And also I made this video there on my main channel. Just put a couple of screws in the back, for God's sake. Affecting the beauty. Is it a pro device to get work done, or is it a piece of art that you screw on the wall? But
all that elegance goes away. Most of the time when you make a product that's serviceable, there's lines, there's extra weight, there's extra thickness.
No, there's nothing of it. Just make the back plate removable with screws. As I pointed out, there are 8 screws in the back plate. Not really lines, just the whole back plate comes off, not a single line anywhere. Well, except at the end of the case, which is not really visible if it's the case of the edge of the case, so whatever.
You'll see what I call trap doors. I can't look at them, they drive me crazy.
Maybe you have the wrong job if you cannot see the inside of a PC. You can't make this up.
But on this product, we've done none of that. I just want to show you really quick. We have the same perfect design on the product, but just like that, the top can simply come off.
Yeah, it's of course said that in 2019 you even have Microsoft making this announcement like, hey, it is repairable and serviceable, which for the last 30 years PCs have been. Just mostly Apple pushed this here with proprietary screws or no screws, gluing everything on iPads and soldering everything else together, including the memory and SSD. Also probably on this machine the memory anyway, except the SSD soldered. And yeah, there are your trapdoors. So if you are sensitive to trapdoors as this gentleman, then probably you want to look away now.
Right, so I have a disclaimer, so let me just do that really quick. Don't try that, okay?
Yeah, disclaimer, don't try that, because
don't do that. Like, don't call.
Well, of course, do that. Repair your stuff at home, do it yourself. It's amazing. Don't listen to this marketing speech.
Me or send me the tweet that says, I tried to rip the top off and now it's broken and it's your fault. So do not do that. There actually is some tools to make that happen, but the point.
The reason why I even let it run in this length is I hope these tools are just a screwdriver. Also, yeah, 2019. There are some tools, and yeah, which tools? I hope not more than a screwdriver, right? Also, it could of course be some special thin thing to plug in there and go in there and unsnap some plastic snapping nose thing there. But yeah, Microsoft presentations 2019, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, so I think I miss this? Anyway, so this was one of the big, yeah, I probably missed this, right. Also, I might not have realized that there are two options. This Alcantara fabric shit that I don't approve because you have coffee and other stuff, and then although I'm very careful with my Surface Pros 2 and 3, it's, yeah, even in cars I'm not a fan of Alcantara, and on PCs even less, especially you touch it the whole day, and it's hilarious. Also the previous ones you had to hot air gun open, although they fixed this apparently with this one. And also this is a little bit half-assed, right? So they have done this for the, how do they call it, laptop, Microsoft Surface Laptop 3, I guess. They have not done this for the Surface X, right? So they didn't mention it at all, but, well, it's a tablet, right? So there you see it's serviceable for pros, but yeah, not the tablets, probably still not. So unlike someone else proves me wrong, although I shouted out yesterday, this M.2 SSD slot here, so thumbs up for that. But yeah, so much to repairability, only skin deep, only on one product, and yeah, still certainly memory soldered. I hope the SSD is at least, I guess they didn't really, did they mention that? Probably not. Anyway. Yeah, so much also Apple, it can be done, and why we don't buy this anymore, no surprise there. However, I have to see some small other updates. So one thing I did not realize, because I didn't watch the whole stream, that there are some colors, and this, including the stupid fabric stuff, but only on the 13.5 inch model. So you get this cobalt blue and stuff. Again, yeah, whatever. However, they have this beautiful black, and as you know, we are huge fans. It's of course, you don't buy this because of the color, but I have to say this black stuff really looks, yeah, matte black, looks fantastic. However, so certainly don't buy a laptop if it's compromised, although you can open it a little bit. I slightly wonder with what kind of tools though. But yeah, also I wonder, I got some scratches on the Retina MacBook Pro, which actually, fun fact, I wanted to, but at least we can pause here on this pre-record. Not sure if that paused. Amazing UI 2019, even in OBS not. So, did I not? Oh, probably this unfocused, hopefully only because I walked away. So here the speakers are, of course, left and right, also slightly dirty and keyboard scratching away. So yeah, this is why I usually have it on manual focus. Amazing. Autofocus also not. Is it focused? No, somewhat. Anyway, so the speakers are in the keyboard. So I guesstimate the sound is most likely not amazing. Certainly, probably similar to ThinkPads, not the super most amazing. Also, personally, if I want proper sound, then wired headphone jack, right? But yeah, sound maybe not amazing. They also called out, I think they called out this design, like not having the speakers there, which I find super hilarious, especially on the 15-inch ones. So the 15-inch ones you don't get in the stupid Alcantara fabric crap edition that I can't recommend anyway. But there you see, we have so many laptops and all of them are the same ultra thin. So also, yeah, this is also ultra thin. So maybe let's better get a higher performance, thicker ThinkPad T490, 95 regular OP or something. But 2019, you are already tempted to maybe potentially look into this just because 3x2 screen and not sucking keyboard and somewhat still serviceability and black stuff. But yeah, anyway, what was it? This was Googling. Also, we had the Surface processor here from AMD, and they really list this as a SKU, surprisingly. Although probably maybe this is some marketing stuff for AMD that they list this, because they could just not list it, I guess. But probably for them a super big deal that they scored a OEM project with Microsoft, so a new level of responsiveness. Graphic in a thin light, yeah, exactly what we don't really want, right? Leave me in the comments below. Do you need this razor sharp thinness, or not as thin, but Ethernet jack and productivity? And so I guess they list this here for marketing, which probably should have zoomed in. And if we compare this with a relatively similar SKU, so they apparently officially call this Microsoft Surface Edition, which is of course hilarious. So I guess the CPU ID will probably not include this, I hope. But yeah, maybe I should just get this to fact check that. But if we compare this to a relatively similar SKU, we see, let me see this one. No, it's not the same level, something of something. So all the basics here are the same. So for, oops, also maybe I should switch with keyboard. So 2 MB cache, second level cache, 4 MB third level cache. All the other stuff here, 384K level 1 cache. All the other stuff here is the same, except they list here the thermal design power slightly different, at least in, so the thermal design power range is the same, 12 to 35 watts, just that here they list the default TDP for whatever reason, no idea. And the rest is the same, except here the fine print is slightly different. So you see, I don't, as per yesterday's live stream, they claimed that they work together with AMD engineers, but I have the feeling maybe not really too much. So the only thing they list here slightly different, freezing versus, okay, freezing is there, Zen core, HDMI, DisplayPort. Yeah, this is slightly wrapping differently. I thought there was something, maybe AMD Sense MI is maybe not listed here, but I would expect this to have the same features, and that it's just some random textural stuff they copy and pasted together there. When we take a closer look at, or did I not? So because this is Zen 7, where is it even written? Vega graphics, so they had here somewhere listed Vega 11. So I think this is Vega 10 versus Vega 11, which mostly boils down to one compute unit more. I'm also not sure, maybe they only have the slightly faster, bigger Vega 11 from the desktop SKU instead of the mobile SKU. So there you see the huge, obviously Microsoft is not sitting there and telling them, hey, put there this logic gate and whatever. Of course, AMD is just taking their building blocks out of their desktop Ryzen with graphic line, maybe, and yeah. And but leave me in the comments below. But yeah, but certainly they don't. It makes no sense, right? For a not as 10,000, 100,000 order, you do not start to redesign your graphic. And also, the graphic core is already like perfected. Well, kind of, sort of. Anyway, it's of course the best AMD can deliver. It's not like Microsoft is coming there and so just like they built a more amazing graphic GPU. Also, here this other X. So yesterday I said slightly tempted for this X here, that of course it is a cool looking tablet, but yeah, around the rectangle all looks the same more or less anyway. But individually calibrated pixels. The one thing is of course booting Linux. I would expect it's as hard as with the Surface RT of previous decade. And unless we are super lucky, but I would not expect us to be super lucky that Microsoft left the EFI secure booting door that open, certainly not. And with that, I, like many other people on the internet, I think many even Windows users and many x86 Windows users agree that this will not be successful just as the RT versions, just because people want x86, right? If you want the app ecosystem, you get an Apple and you get a Surface for the x86 compatibility, and that is exactly what the Surface X is not, which maybe they should not have the X in the name, which would fit more x86, because you can run x86 software, but maybe only 32-bit. I've never had this, so, but I guess. And Here you see they emulate x86 apps, so just like QEMU or other emulation technology, or Rosetta from macOS 10.5, 10.6 there of the x86 transition of Apple, and ecosystem of Win32 apps available on ARM. This provides the user with a magic experience of running like magical, like you mean broken and virus and crap APIs from the time when Microsoft clobbered together all the stuff for Windows 1 and 2 and on DOS, and yeah, thank you very much. Like really not amazing APIs, and yes, I have worked with them. So it's of course, yeah, there you see marketing speed, right? Like provides the same crappy experience of outdated legacy crap application existing without any modifications to the app. However, this is of course low performance, right? Just like QEMU, you probably have run QEMU, and some sites benchmarked this here, x86 emulation performance. Let's talk on performance there, and this was last year on some other Snapdragon, HP, Envy X2, and 2017 flagship smartphone chip, packaging 8 cores split into 2 clusters, and the performance here, of course, this is last year's test of 2018, but of course the emulation performance, you have seen this in QEMU and other PS3, NES and all the other Amiga emulation and everything open source and commercial and stuff. Emulation is always costing you tons of performance, and you see here just how much it is here the slowest in the line of all of those, certainly. And if you take a look at Cinebench, even more so. Well, it's the slowest, it's still the slowest, and if you take a look other, yeah, you don't really want to run like real Adobe Photoshop or anything else with this kind of performance, then you have no benefit of efficient and performant ARM. The benefit is away as soon as you run this emulation. I don't really see how they could magically improve on this, maybe a % here and there, but certainly not something groundbreaking. And this is also why people say this price is too high, which probably I should, yeah, don't have here, but somewhere. The price is, this starts at $999 for the cheapest Surface laptop, and this other Surface X, they don't have it here yet because, yeah, amazing company navigation, you name it, what's that, probably here. And then here, and the starting price is not lower, right? I think it's even slightly higher. Let's load it here, and that says, okay, the starting price is the same, but for significantly probably less performance usability. And then people say, yeah, but LTE, personally, I'm not a huge fan of having a third or so card or second or third SIM card there, because you nowadays probably just hotspot with your other mobile device, and then this point of LTE, I nearly never used it, not even in Sony Vario P or any other ThinkPad or whatsoever, because yeah, it's usually extra cost and so on and so forth. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, so last point. So as much as I already could not recommend this Surface Pro X yesterday, I would be slightly tempted just for the Linux compatibility test and stuff. But again, if it's secured, then it takes probably a year of disassembling and digging around there and finding security flaws. Not really into that, totally not worth it. If it would be ARM bootable, and there you see, maybe this device would be even more interesting to open source people like Linux, although as much as they often hate Microsoft, but still a relatively cool device if you take some constraints in consideration. But there you see, Windows users want x86 for their old-fashioned legacy applications. Linux users could switch because we can just recompile in our T2 or others, just recompile everything for ARM, then it would be a high-performance, snappy ARM device. But yeah, you could sell a bunch more, but probably secure boot. So yeah, maybe not the most amazing. Leave me in the comments below, but we made a video on this other channel, ARM laptops worth it, and for the same price, that is also what other Windows fans said in many forums. For that price, it is too much. They would, for $699 or something, they might consider it, but yeah, it is. That is also the thing, right? Microsoft builds like Apple relatively luxury stuff with lots of pixels, lot of design polishing and stuff that makes it more expensive instead of what people are asking for. They ask for a cheap portable second device, and that is not a cheap portable second device. So yeah, but leave me in the comments below what you think. Hope you learned something, and hope to see you soon for the next videos and live streams, if this channel ever gets uncopyright striked in 70 days. See you then.